Good evening and welcome to East St. Paul Regular Council meeting. And I'll just bring awareness to Councillor Posthumus is not with us this evening. And the time is 5:30. I'll call the meeting to order and I'll have the resolution to adopt the agenda this evening.
So that the agenda be adopted as presented.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Duval, seconded by Councillor Imhoff. Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Going down to item number 4 is the confirmation of the minutes from September 10th.
Be resolved that the council meeting minutes of the September 10th planning.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Horechko, seconded by Councillor Duval. Call for the question. All those in favor? And that's carried. Moving on to item number 5. We don't have a delegation this evening. We don't have anything under bylaws and we will move to policies. So 7.1 for resolution.
Be resolved that the utility supervisor job description D122 be approved as amended.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Horechko, seconded by Councillor Duval. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 7.2 for resolution.
Be resolved that the utility support staff job description D7 be approved as amended.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Imhoff, second by Councillor Duval. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Councillor Duval?
Yeah, I just have one comment. Could we get an up-to-date organization chart with these new positions, some of them new titles and some of them have new people in them, of course.
Yeah, the job descriptions are still on the original org chart. Those haven't changed, but we will be bringing the org chart for council approval to amend because we will be looking.
This is staff as well. All over.
Right, yeah, the positions that you've approved this week are currently on the org chart, so nothing has been added. But I believe that there should be an org chart in to you, but like a printed copy, I think that's you.
Well, I'll look it up first. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll go to 7.3 for resolution.
Resolve that the use of armed social media platforms for advertising by outside organizations policy GEM 117 be approved, and be it further resolved that LED sign messages policy GEM 118 be approved.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Duval, seconded by Councillor Imhoff. Any questions or comments? No. Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Under finances, we have 8.1.
Be resolved that the scheduling accounts dated 8/2024 amounting to $15,175.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Horechko, seconded by Councillor Imhoff. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 8.2 for resolution.
That the schedule of accounts paid since the September 10th, 2024 meeting of council amounting to $573,227.35 be confirmed as paid.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Duval, by Councillor Imhoff. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. And then 8.3.
Be resolved that the net payroll and council indemnities for the Arm of East St. Paul for September 13th to October 8th, 2024 amounting to $107,700.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horechko, seconded by Councillor Duval. Any questions or comments? Call for the question, all those in favor? That's carried. Under general business, we have 9.1.1. The resolution.
Whereas the increased traffic on Halloween night raises significant safety concerns for pedestrians. And whereas the council aims to address these concerns by limiting vehicle traffic to Pritchard Farm properties on Halloween evening. Therefore, be resolved, the three main entrances to and from Pritchard Farm properties be temporarily closed from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on October 31st to ensure the safety of all residents and visitors.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horachko, second. Sorry, wait, I'm gonna say that again. Councillor Imhoff, seconded by Councillor Horachko. Any comments or questions?
Tradition.
Yeah, traditionally, we've been doing this since 2018. Always a successful evening. And I welcome anyone who would like to volunteer to come up and help out. I'll be there, and hopefully we have a warm evening like tonight. Big hit.
Don't count on it, but
Yeah, that'd be great.
maybe.
And we also encourage, other communities that have the ability to have, smaller number of entrances and able to control it to come forward and ask for the same. Councillor Duval.
This would be the first year that we have our CSOs in place, is that true?
Correct, yeah, so we're hoping to see them throughout the evening as well.
Well, I think we should put a basket or a barrel full of goodies in each car for them to hand out as they idle around the area.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll decorate their vehicles.
No, I think that would be a great touch.
For sure, we can definitely do that. And I'm gonna reach out to COPP and see if they're willing to help out as well. Yeah, because that would be a great way to get them included. I know they always come through and they're always there, but
Yeah.
let's bring them into the mix, so. Okay, great. So I'll call for the question then. All those in favor? That's carried. And then 9.2 for resolution.
Whereas medical radiation technologists are an essential link between patients and the advanced medical industry technologies to this health system. And whereas the Arm of St. Paul recognizes the vital contributions of medical radiation technologists to safe and effective healthcare in our province. Whereas other healthcare providers depend on the specialized skills and expertise of medical radiation technologists to ensure patients receive timely diagnosis and treatment. And whereas medical radiation technologist provides an opportunity to acknowledge the dedication and professionalism of medical radiation technologists and to encourage others to consider careers in this important field. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Arm of St. Paul proclaims the week of November 3rd to 9th as Medical Radiation Technologist Week in the Arm of St. Paul. Further, be it resolved that a copy of this proclamation be forwarded to the Canadian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, Manitoba, to acknowledge and celebrate the contributions of MRTs to our healthcare community.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Duval, seconded by Councillor Horachko. I'll open the floor up for comments or questions. Councillor Imhoff?
Well, I totally agree with the sentiment of the resolution, and we should be acknowledging the work of not just the radiation technologists, but all of our healthcare workers and first line people. I personally feel that this is sort of out of place as a resolution at this table. I don't think we do them for any other organization. I understand what they're after, and they want the recognition. I believe this still would fall within the LED sign guideline to be, put that message up at the CAO's discretion. but I don't believe it deserves standing for a resolution.
Any other comments or rebuttal?
Well,
Councillor Hurchko?
I can agree with Councillor Imhoff. We did it for all healthcare workers. It's one thing, but I guess just picking one category, so I agree with Councillor Imhoff.
I don't, Councillor Duval?
Yeah, I'm inclined to the same way. I guess it's harmless, of course, but nonetheless, how many associations are there? Even just medical associations, there's quite a number of them, because there's a lot of healthcare. And why is this one soliciting this, a week of recognition? I'm just kind of baffled. Why not the Cancer Society? Why not some of these other more well-known? Quite frankly, I've never heard of them. The Medical Radiation Technologist, that's a professional group, I guess they formed maybe just recently, and they're trying to get some traction and exposure. I don't know.
Make good money.
It's a little unusual, I must say.
Okay, well, I think that medical radiation technologists have been around for a long time, and they're part of the healthcare system, and they have the Nurses Association, they have the doctors. I think, I'm not gonna say association, there's probably another name to it. I just think that, before us is the Canadian Association of Medical Radiologists, Technologists, and they're asking for a proclamation, and I guess, it's not that it's not that anybody's offending all of healthcare. I think that this association is just looking for this week of recognition. So I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I don't know if you know this answer, but do you know how many proclamations we've done or have in the past?
In the past year, we have only approved one other, and that was the Sabbath Day proclamation on March 26th, but I haven't had any others come across my desk. But it does lend itself to, inviting other associations now to come forward. If we do approve this.
Correct. And what is the harm in?
It's not that there's harm, it's just it does set a precedent and does great work, for administration, myself included, drafting reports, drafting proclamation. There is administrative work. I mean, it's not, unbearable work, but it is work nonetheless. And council has to consider any other requests that come forward.
Okay, so Councillor Duval?
I would think the other RM's got this very same request.
It's very possible.
Yeah. Have a phone call with one of them and see what do you think of this?
I did a little bit of research with some neighboring RMs, and it's inconsistent. Some of them put these requests as correspondence just for information. Others do put them on the table and proclaim. There's no real steadfast rule.
Sure.
And like I said, I don't want to minimize, their contribution, but resolutions serve a purpose for the most part, and they set the policy and they set the decisions of the municipality. A resolution for this, it doesn't meet that sort of standard as we need this in order to, we can support it, we can do whatever else, but I don't think it deserves a resolution. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, well, we had a resolution for the proclamation for the Sabbath Day, right? And really what this means is that between November 3rd and 9th, the RM is going to acknowledge that there's frontline workers that are radiologists, radiation therapists that work within the healthcare system, and we're acknowledging them and in their daily duties. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, so I'm just gonna, I think the three of you are thinking about it and hammering it out and. Council Horachko?
Well, like I think Councilor Imhoff said, you know, if you want to put it on on the LED board, that's the week of thing, I would just leave it at that, without doing a proclamation.
I think that's essentially what they're asking for, is that we acknowledge them during that week. Am I correct to say that? Yes, because on the Sabbath day, how are we recognizing the Sabbath day? That we provided a proclamation to?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I would just put up that November 3rd to 9th is in Manitoba Medical Technologist Week.
Okay,
Because Manitoba healthcare system, I mean, it's like he said, the next thing you know, we're gonna have nurses, you know, the paramedics. So they're all important.
I understand, and if the Paramedics Association decided that on November 20th, they wanted that to be their day, then, you know, I think that if we look at society as a whole, we now have Daughters Day that's recognized, we have Administration Day that's recognized, there's all these days that are popping up throughout the calendar that are new, so we have it on the floor, and if Councilor Duval, do you need further conversation? You look a little bit like you're thinking about it.
I'm just looking at, this is the Manitoba chapter, I guess, of the Canadian Association of Technologists.
Correct.
And talk about a proclamation. What does that really mean? Does a proclamation from a municipal council mean anything? It does from at the federal level, I guess.
At the provincial level, it's, you know, a proclamation is naming the day to the cause.
And they're naming the
So the definition is a public or official announcement, especially one dealing with a matter of great importance. It's a proclamation. The public or official announcement of an important matter, a clear declaration of something. So we're essentially supporting them and having awareness during that week.
I don't have a problem with supporting it because it's really harmless. Probably you won't hear about it again. We will be asked, I suppose, to post something on the reader board, but we would be agreeable to do that anyway, with or without the proclamation.
We haven't been asked to put anything on our LED sign, just to proclaim that week by resolution and then send it back to their association. So if council, chooses not to approve the proclamation, we still offer them messaging on our LEDs.
I'm totally supportive of putting the message up on the sign. I won't support a resolution just for the reasons that I stated.
And I have a mover and a seconder, right? When I talk, I forget. Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's defeated. Okay. We needed Charles here tonight, our tiebreaker. Okay, so we don't have anything rising from delegation tonight. We have correspondence in our package. Any comments or questions in regards to our correspondence tonight?
Just a minute.
Well, we can go around. So Councilor Horachko.
Just in the CSO report, I can't believe how many people drive without a vehicle that's registered. You
Yeah.
know, if they have an accident or something, I mean,
Yeah.
putting people, you know.
So I'll go through that report after, if there's any other questions in it, because then I think we'll probably have discussion around it. Councilor Duval, do you have something else in correspondence that you want to address, or is it just with the CSO report?
The request by RCMP or offer by RCMP, whoops. The offer by RCMP to have a discussion with them at the EMM Fall Convention.
Yep.
Most of the time we agree, we want to talk to them, but our message has always been the same. You don't have enough presence of the RCMP in the community, and we're fearful of some of the minor crime and vandalism and things that are getting out of hand, speeding and all the rest of that. But now things are so much different that we have our own authority and with the CSOs to look after that, and it's working out very well. We'll talk about it. We don't have to talk to the RCMP at the convention.
I don't know.
I think it, Councillor Imhoff.
I agree that the CSO program is proving itself out to be, very beneficial to the community. However, as was in the news, Broken Head First Nation has now moved to the First Nation Policing Service and no longer using the RCMP. I feel that we should be sitting down with them and talking about where those assets are going to be reallocated. And even though things are going well for us here, they can always be better. So I think we should be pressing to find out and pressing for more RCMP allocation here.
Great, thank you. Councillor Hutchko.
When we look at the CSO program now that's just finished, spring, and I just look at the tickets and that, so this is all stuff that the RCMP were missing. And it was a substantial amount, like Wenzel for 7 years. We couldn't get anywhere and poor residents are frustrated, crazy. Well, now at least we, fix the problem. So bringing this up with the Mounties, going, hey, these guys are doing a great job on this. So we need you guys to, step up to the plate.
I think that it's just a good, it's a good 30 minutes that we can just find out. They might be able to update us, we can update them, and we can just have a good conversation. It's nice that we're not going in like we used to,
Yeah, guns blazing.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you? We got all these issues. So we found some way to solve some of our issues, and I think we should share that with them, if anything, because I think the feedback is important because they work alongside the CSO program. I hear you, Councillor Duval, but I think that it'd be worth the conversation.
I'm not against it. I just we don't have the same need for it as we did in previous years. Not at all. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if there's nothing else, we'll go to the monthly activity report from the CSO. And they lay it out for us really well, and I'll go through it and I'll point out the highlights. So we'll start at license and registration. I guess there was 12 warnings provided out because maybe there was no license and registration. Driving an unregistered vehicle, we had 11 tickets issued. Unregistered trailers, we had 1. Failed to display correct license plate numbers, we had 1. Drive with number plates that don't match registration card, we had 1. Operate a vehicle with number plate obstructed. We had 12 warnings and 1 ticket issued. Failed to produce license, we had 2. Disobey a traffic control device such as a red light, we had 1 warning and 3 tickets issued. Disobeying the traffic control device, stop signs, we had 9 warnings and 6 tickets issued. Disobey traffic control device other, we had 1 warning. Speeding, we had 44 warnings and 28 tickets issued. Failed to slow down for emergency vehicle, we had 1 warning and 1 ticket issued. And failed to dim high beams when approaching oncoming traffic, we had a warning issued for that. Skipping down, failed to stop at a railway crossing. We had 6 warnings and 5 tickets issued. Driving carelessly, we had 1 ticket issued. And we had driving while suspended, we had 1 ticket issued. Driving without motor vehicle liability insurance, we had 8 tickets issued. And under bylaw, because our CSOs also do bylaw, not just highway traffic offenses. So the no truck route by a company, we didn't have any warnings and we didn't have any tickets issued. So Councillor Duval should feel happy about that one. No truck route by the driver, that's a different story. We had 7 warnings and 20 tickets issued. So we're still seeing an issue on our no truck route, but at least we're catching them, and hopefully sooner or later they'll realize that Wenzel is not a truck route. Unsecured loads, we had 1 warning and 5 tickets issued. And then under parking, and I assume that's just wrong side of the street or not where you're supposed to park, there was 2 warnings. All in all, the fines amounted to $31,274. And let's see if there's anything else here. Okay, so then bylaws also dealing with our own municipal bylaw offenses, and there was complaints. These are all driven by complaints. So CSOs, if they're driving around the community and if they see something that is a bylaw infraction, they are it's all driven by complaints. So they don't have the ability to just bang on everybody's door and tell them when they see things that are wrong. I'm sure if it was something that was an emergency, they would. So we had complaints over sump pumps, lot grade, noise. We didn't have anything. Roadway hazards, illegal dumping, unsightly properties, signs that are placed in the RM because we don't allow signs. Company signs being placed for advertising, we don't allow that. And then we had zoning complaints, and those are obviously forwarded to RRPD because they handle all the bylaws that pertain to planning. And then parking, we had 5 complaints. So 32 complaints that were dealt with by our CSOs. So they had a busy month, and we love the reports because we get to see what's happening and, you know, where it's helping and how it's and at the end of the year, I think we'll compare all our monthly activity reports and see how things have improved or maybe gotten worse. We'll see what happens. Any comments from council? Councillor Duval?
Yes, so Madam Mayor, it should be pointed out that total of fine revenue, 25,574 was offenses under the Highway Traffic Act. Those fine funds do not wind up here. They go to the province.
I know that.
No,
Is that
Do we do that?
get him now.
a portion? When did that get in place?
That was a few months ago.
2 months ago, okay.
Yeah.
So do you know what portion we get?
I'd have to speak with our CFO on that. He receives the statements from the province, but I know that we are getting a portion of it back. But also keeping in mind that the offenders can appeal the ticket. So what we see in terms of total revenue is not necessarily what may be collected at the end of it.
Yes, of course,
Successful.
which is another interesting question. How much of that is actually ever paid by fines? I know some are going to appeal their tickets, and in some cases, if you appeal, you automatically get it cut in half if you're very polite. But and the other, of course, bylaw offenses, which includes the truck routes, which is the big issue, that those funds stay 100% with the municipality. That was $6,700.
Yeah, so Councillor Imhoff and myself had attended the legislative building, and we met with the Minister of Justice and his deputy minister and the retired RCMP officer that's in charge of the program. And we advocated for fine,
Getting some money.
yeah, for getting the monies for the fine. So we have a portion right now. We're hoping to see more in the future as they're, this is a new program rolled out and they said that they're obviously looking at improving it as they go along. So we hope to see more coming our way in the near future. But they did hear us and we're happy to hear that, and we are getting a portion.
It's also important to highlight there is a section, the CSO's report that speaks to CSOs took part in Operation Lifesaver, which is in partnership with the Railway Association of Canada, aimed to provide education on hazards and enforcement surrounding trains and rail property. So if you look at the table on page 75, there were 5 warnings issued for failed stop and rail crossing and 5 tickets issued for that. So that's concerning.
Just to highlight quickly, because you covered sort of the list of what was going on, but in the summary, it was 190 stops. Like that's
That's a lot.
that's considerable. So,
Yeah, it is considerable, and we are hearing and seeing the benefit, and I know that on Foxgrove, I had a gentleman call me and he said, he was advocating for the speed limit to be reduced in prior year. And he said that because of the presence of the CSOs, now they're not seeing people cutting through or the amount of traffic that they used to. So he was grateful for the program. So it's nice to have those wins. Yeah. And that there are other solutions, and that's good. Okay, so we have to hand in our council reports if we haven't already. And I know Michelle will be chasing us if we don't. And then we can wait, move in camera tonight. Okay, so I'll have the resolution to move the camera.
Here is camera as per section 152 of the municipal to discuss business development matters, and be it further resolved that all matters discussed while in camera to remain confidential as per section 83(1)(d) of the municipal act.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Duval, second by Councillor Imhoff. Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. You're now moved in camera. Council is now moving out of camera. Can I have the resolution, please?
Be resolved that council now moves out of camera and resumes the regular meeting of council.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Orechko, seconded by Councillor Imhoff. All those in favor? That's carried. Now resume the regular meeting of council, and I'll have the resolution to adjourn.
Resolved that the meeting be adjourned, the time being 6:37 p.m.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Imhoff, seconded by Councillor Duval. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you and have a good evening.